Good morning, students. So our next topic is different components of GPS. Okay. So the main components of global positioning system are there will be a space segment, then there will be control segment, and finally there is a user segment. Okay. So by coordination of these three segments, GPS work properly. Okay. So there is a space segment, control segment, and user segment. So we can discuss one by one. So space segment means there will be a number of satellites, that is 24 satellites will be there, and the data from this space segment or GPS satellite will be transferred to the control segment, and also the data from this control segment will also be transferred to this space segment. Okay. Also the data from space segment is collected by our user. So first component is space segment. So as I have told, there will be 24 GPS space satellite vehicles. Okay, that is around our Earth there will be 24 GPS satellites, and this satellite orbit the Earth in 12 hours, and there will be 6 orbital planes. So this is one orbital plane, this is another orbital plane. Like that there will be 6 orbital plane, and each of these orbital plane contains 4 satellites. So 6 into 4, total 24 satellites will be there. Okay, that is there will be 6 orbital planes around our Earth, and each of these orbital plane contains 4 satellites. So altogether there will be 24 satellites which is surrounded by our Earth, and this constellation provides 5 to 8 satellite views from any point on the Earth. That is, any point on the Earth will be viewed by 5 or 8 satellites. So that the accuracy of that position will be very high, because single point will be captured by 5 or 8 satellites. So like that, high accurate location data will be available by this GPS system. Okay, so this space segment contains 24 GPS satellites, and 24 is distributed like that. That is, it consists of 6 orbital plane, and each of this orbital plane contains 4 satellites. Altogether there is 24 satellite vehicles. And the basic function of space segment. The main function is to receive and store data which is transmitted by control station. So that is the one function. The data will be transmitted from the control station, and that data will be received and stored by this space segment. And next function is to maintain accurate time by an onboard atomic clock. So there will be atomic clock in order to maintain accurate time. That is another function of space segment. Next function, to transmit information and signals to users. So from the space segment, the information and signals are transferred to users. And next function, to provide a stable platform and orbit for transmitters. So this space segment provide a stable platform and orbit for the transmitter. So these are the basic functions of space segment. So as I had told, GPS nominal constellation consists of, there will be 24 satellites in 6 orbital plane. Okay, and 4 satellites in each plane. So altogether 24 satellites, and 20,200 kilometer altitude and 55 degree inclinations. That is, this orbital plane is inclined at 55 degree with the equator. 6 orbital planes are inclined at 55 degree with the equator. Okay, so these are the properties of our space segment. Okay, and the second segment is control segment, and this control segment consists of one master control station and 5 monitoring stations and 4 ground antennas. And the master control station is situated in Colorado Springs in USA, and there is 5 monitoring stations, and 5 monitoring stations are located different position like Hawaii, Ascension Island, Colorado Springs, Diego Garcia, and Kwajalein Atoll. Like that, these 5 monitoring stations are located different points, and there is one master control station which is located USA, Colorado, and there will be 4 ground antennas. So these are the components of our control segment. and it measures the distance over the overhead satellites every 1.5 seconds and send the corrected data to the master control. That is, this control segment actually measures the distance of the satellite at every 1.5 seconds, and the data is transferred to the master control station. So if there is any variation, it will be corrected by this control segment. Okay, so here the satellite orbit, clock performance and health of the satellite is determined and determines whether it requires repositioning. That is, if there is any change is required, it will be transferred by the control segment. So this control segment actually controls the process of our satellite system. Okay, and this information is sent to the 3 uplink stations. So if there is any repositioning needed for the satellite, that information will be sent to the 3 uplink stations. So necessary rearrangement will be taken by the satellites. Okay, so this is actually control segment. As the name implies, it means it will control the whole process, control segment. And the basic functions of control segment are: control station track GPS satellites and update their position. Okay, so the track of the GPS satellite is updated by this control segment, and calibrate and synchronize the clock. That is done by control segment, and this control segment determine the orbit of satellite and predict its path for next 24 hours. Okay, that is, the whole process of satellite is controlled by this control segment, and it keep track of satellite orbit, altitude, location and speed. All these parameters are tracked by this control segment. Then next function, ground station send the orbit data to master control station, and this will send the corrected data to the satellites through ground antennas. Okay, that is, ground station send the orbital data to master control station, and it will send the corrected data to the satellites through ground antennas. That is another function. And the corrected and exact position, corrected data or the exact position of the data is called the ephemeris. So this is the global positioning, master control and monitor station network. That is, I have told that these control stations are spread at different positions. So in this figure, the different stations are marked: Hawaii monitor station, then Colorado station. It is marked in the world map. Okay, that is the distribution of control stations. And then last segment is user segment, and it comprises the GPS receivers used to receive the GPS signal for determination of position and time. That is, if we are using mobile phone, that is the user segment. That is, we are using the location which is captured by the satellite. So that part is user component. Okay, that is GPS receivers who used to receive the GPS signal for determination of position and time. And a typical application within the user segment are the land navigation, marine navigation, surveying and aerial navigation. So these are the various field of application which is done by user segment. Then this user segment consists of receivers that decode the signals from the satellite. Then there will be receivers, and that receiver decode the signals from the satellite to the correct latitude, longitude, altitude, etc. That correct value, correct data of the position. And the receiver performs the following tasks, that is, selecting one or more satellite, then acquiring GPS signals, measuring and tracking, recovering navigation data. So these all are done by receivers. So this is the GPS system. Okay, GPS equipment, and it perform the tracking of different location, and the final output will be latitude, longitude, altitude, etc. Okay. Then next, the advantages of GPS system. This I have explained in the last lecture. That is, relatively high position accuracies in mm level, millimeter level, and since 24 satellites are there. Okay. Then capability of determining velocity and time. Velocity and time can be determined using GPS. Then signal availability to users anywhere on the globe. The signals are available at any point. And positioning system with no user charge. There is no user charge, and uses relatively low cost hardware. And it is an all-weather system, and that is available 24 hours a day. And the position information is in 3 dimensions. So these are the advantages of GPS. And the features of GPS, that is, this is one-way ranging system. That is, here the satellite transmit the signals but it is unaware that who is using the signal. That is, the satellite is transmit the signal, but the satellite doesn't know that is who is using the signal. So the users cannot be detected by the enemy. So it is very important in the case of military contest. So it is one of the feature, that is, it is one way ranging system. Who is it is unaware, that is, we cannot predict who is using the signal. We cannot find out the users of the GPS technology, so that the enemies cannot be detected. So it is very important in the case of military service. And in means of civilian context, it is important that it is charged for using the system. Okay. And another feature is use of latest atomic clock and microwave transmission technology. So this is another feature of GPS. It uses latest atomic clock and microwave transmission technology. And the satellite signals are unaffected by cloud and rain. Okay, cloud and rain cannot affect the satellite signals, and also there are 24 satellites, so that we cannot miss the data due to this bad weather condition. And multiple satellite system, which ensures the visibility of sufficient number of satellites anywhere on the globe at any time. Okay, no less than 4 satellites at any time at any point on the surface of Earth. That is, minimum there will be 4 satellites for a single point. Okay, so the data will not be missed. So that is very important, because there are so many satellites, that is, there is 24 satellites, and each point will be visualized by a minimum of 4 satellites. So the point will be tracked at any time, at any weather condition. So these are the features of GPS. So we have discussed different components of GPS, and they are space segment, control segment, and user segment. Next, we have discussed the features of GPS. So in the next class, we can discuss the working principle of GPS. Thank you.